Now this is a Patreon requested review, so if you'd like to support the channel on Patreon, then you can always do that, link down in the description. And one of the benefits is that once per patch you're able to select a ship in my harbour for a let's play or a review, and there's other benefits as well, such as early access, and once there's enough finances from Patreon to purchase an additional premium ship per patch, then the patrons will be allowed to basically vote on which ship that is. So this is a tier 4 and 5 game of Capture the Base on Haven, T22 working with a Bayan, Fubuki, Furitaka, Legazinaire, Congo, Julius Caesar, Izamal and New Mexico. Now I spawned on the left, I'm pushing out to the left, getting my aircraft up, got HE loaded. Fubuki spotted in the centre is a tempting target. Also New Mexico is in torpedo range. So we're going to see if we can get these torpedoes out before we're completely around the island. What else we got here? Furitaka. Okay, dokie. And the two destroyers are pushing down the centre, and most of the enemy battleships are over to the north of the map as well, which is good news for me because I am a cruiser. Right, time for the review, and as always, this is all in comparison to the tech tree tier 5 cruisers unless otherwise stated. Survivability, you have the highest HP pool and HP base. She is full of it, is the best way to put it. She's got quite good armour as well. Lowest band is 30mm and upper band is 170mm, so you do have the thickest, highest level of armour. You also have the highest torpedo reduction, which is at 22%, so she's a heavy cruiser, but she's a big heavy cruiser is the best way to put it. Artillery wise, you have 6 11-inch guns in 2 triple turrets, A turret up front and Y turret at the rear. Now this does mean you have the lowest gun count, but because they're 11-inch guns you do end up having the longest range and the slowest reload. You have a better than average turret traverse as well, which is slightly unexpected, I guess you could say, considering that you have such high caliber guns. In fact, the turrets on the Graf Spee are very similar to the turrets which were eventually mounted on the Scharnhorst class or battleships. Now, the shells do have the second highest HE shell damage. You also have the highest fire chance and the highest AP damage. However, due to your low gun count and your slow reload speed, you do end up with the lowest HE and AP DPM and also the lowest fire chances per minute. So your fires per minute is 3.6 and the average for the tier is 6.9, so you're almost half as worse. I think I'm going to have to give up firing AP that Furitaka. It just doesn't seem to be cashing in any results and giving me mostly overpens, I believe. Now torpedoes, you do have 2 quadruple launchers and they do have very good angles fore and aft. They are actually mounted on the rear deck of the ship. Now they have an average reload time per launcher and the fastest reload time per tube. They have an average range and detectability, joint fastest and below average time for an enemy to respond to them based off of their increased speed and average detectability. Gonna see what high explosives does. So one of the great things with the Graf Spee is due to the high caliber, you have to almost reconsider your options when you're firing at thin cruisers just because of the amount of overpens that you end up getting. Another trick is always to usually fire both turrets at the same time because it does give you an improved accuracy. Just going to knock on that repair party. Maneuverability, you are the slowest at 28.5 knots, but you do have a better than average turn circle, however you do have a slow rudder shift. Concealment, you're the joint second worst by sea and air, and you are the worst in smoke simply due to the signature of your 11-inch guns. Now, in regards to the history of the Graf Spee, firstly, she's a Deutschland class heavy cruiser. She was only really referred to as a pocket battleship in media reports, and Dragon for Now has done a 5-minute guide on the Deutschland class carded top right now. Furthermore, if you want a more detailed review of the Graf Spee herself, then carded top right now, and also will be on the end screen, is a about 15-minute video by Dragon for Now in regards to the Graf Spee. Now for consumables, you do have two sonar. The sonar has a 114-second duration, 180-second reload, and can detect ships at 5.2 kilometers and torpedoes at 3.9 kilometers. You also have two catapult fighters, and these are pretty standard, but they do a damage of 48 DPS, which is their joint third for the tier. You also get two repair parties. Now these are quite nice. These heal 197 HP per second for 28 seconds, which means that a single repair party will heal 5,516 HP. Now down in the description will be the modules and the command build used during this recording, but I should let you know that I've taken aiming systems and steering gears. If you've been enjoying this review, then feel free to give the video a thumbs up. If you enjoy this kind of content, feel free to subscribe. We're just capturing the enemy base, and we're going to see if we can hunt down this Ismail. Now she is quite a nice cruiser. I don't play her that often. I bought her mostly for historical sake. But there's something about her which is always quite interesting. I've always enjoyed the Battle of the River Plate. I have the film and the book. And if that does interest you, carded top right is a video in regards to the Battle of the River Plate produced by the historiographer, and I think that's about 12 minutes long, just in case that tickles your fancy. I think we're simply waiting for a bit of action, so what I'll do, I'll splice in some Colonel Bogey's March. And here we go, let's see what we can do to this Ismail. So, when bringing all guns onto target, I think you do have to have quite a broad stance. Thankfully, because she's a cruiser, she does have cruiser maneuverability. There you go. That's how wide you gotta be. Yeah, you're basically pretty much broadside on when it comes to something shooting at you. I think I'm gonna let the auto rudder tuck me away from this island. So you can see the dispersion there when you fire a single turret. The shells kind of go all wandery. However, if you fire both turrets at the same time, for some reason the dispersion just seems to be slightly more accurate. I don't know whether this is a mechanic of the game, whether there's an accuracy multiplier if you fire more than one turret. What I might do, once I've got a little bit more space, I'll swing out and fire both turrets and see whether I can show what the different kind of dispersion. So I'm just going to swing out and fire both turrets. And there you go. So it's something I would love to know if that seems to be what other people seem to be experiencing, but if I had to guess, I would say there's some form of accuracy multiplier, or dispersion multiplier when you fire more than one turret at the same target within close proximity to each other. Now, as you can see, even though she has quite decent armour, she does take a bit of a walloping from battleships, which is to be expected. However, against a broadside battleship, you do have the capability to actually punish them due to your 11-inch guns. You've got to remember, they are the same as the Scharnhorst. Well, there goes the Ismail, fair enough. Well, let's have a look at the end screen then. Only 33,000 damage, a bit of a game, nothing great, I have to confess. Going on to the team page, came third on the team though, so I guess you can't really argue with that. Maybe it was just one of those games where it was just a bit. Going on to the economy, as you can see, the ship service cost for a tier 5 premium ship is actually discounted down to 33,000 credits, so it does mean that tier 5 premiums are quite good at grinding out currency if you need to, especially if you're getting your first win of the day on them. Managed to make myself a tiny profit with the premium account. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you enjoy this kind of content, feel free to subscribe and check out some of our other content carded on screen now. If you're already a subscriber, I'd like to say thank you very much, guys and girls, for your support and contributions to the channel. As always, you can send in your own game captures to the email address in the description down below, along with the ship modules and the commander build used during this video. Also down in the description is a link to Patreon should you wish to support the channel. I'd like to say thank you to the patrons whose lovely names are appearing on screen now. Until next time, I'm the Gareth Major, and back to the port.